If you're considering renting a Mustang convertible from Enterprise, National, or Alamo, and you're not quite sure what to expect or what type of car you're going to get, well, look no further, because in this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know and everything you should expect should you rent a Mustang convertible from either three of these companies. So first things first, I rented this car from Enterprise at the MCO airport, and they only had the 2021 year models. They have not yet updated their fleet with the latest models as of making this video. So if you rent a Mustang anytime soon, you can expect that you will be getting a 2021 year model. Second, let's talk about the condition of this car, starting off with the interior. To be a rental, and especially a Mustang convertible in this obnoxiously loud yellow color, which I really love, the condition of the interior honestly was excellent. There was no major damage aside from a small scratch on the driver's seat, which was really impressive. This car had over 50,000 miles on it, and since we're going into 2024, it means this car is coming up on 4 years, and it did not feel gross or stink or anything. However, I can't say that about the first Mustang that they gave us when we arrived at MCO. The first Mustang smelled like it was a sweaty locker room with like mildew. Clearly somebody had left the roof open on this car and it got rained in and soaked. The seats and everything in this car reeked so bad it gave you a headache. It was terrible. So we took it back to the airport and they let us swap it out with one that wasn't stinky, which was super nice. Now, there's a second reason why we returned the first Mustang we got, and that's because the tires were super unaligned, super unbalanced. There was a horrible vibration in the car when you got over 60 miles an hour. It literally felt like the car was going to fall apart like a brick Legos. So we took it back for those two reasons. Didn't have any issues with the second Mustang they gave us. So a little tip for you guys here. As with all rentals, there is a chance you can get a total train wreck of a car. If that is the case, just take the car back to them, tell them what the problem is, and they'll allow you to switch the car out no problem. In our experience, changing out the two vehicles, there was literally no hassle in exchanging the cars. We literally just went right back to the airport. We said, hey, this car smells terrible. Can we get a new one? We can't live with this for a week. And they're like, yeah, no problem. So, little tip for you guys. So now I want to talk about the convertible aspect of this car. To raise and lower the roof, it literally takes 10 seconds. You unlatch a handle, press a button, and then the roof raises up and down. Again, takes 10 seconds. It's super quick. You can do it sitting at a red light, which we did multiple times. So pretty cool having a convertible. Okay, now let's talk about something super exciting, the engine and performance of this car. What can you expect? So unless you rent the GT model, which is considered an exotic and is crazy expensive, you're going to be given the EcoBoost models, which have a 4-cylinder. And I gotta say, to only be a 4-banger, this car was surprisingly fast and surprisingly a ton of fun to drive. Now, it doesn't give you that like G-force acceleration feel, like throw you into the back seat, tickle your stomach type feel when you get on the acceleration, but it has plenty of power to get up to 70 miles an hour in no time and plenty of power to get you in trouble. You also get a bunch of fun turbo and air filter sounds from the engine as well as the exhaust note, which just adds to the overall drive experience. Now, since we're on the topic of drive experience, I did want to mention one negative, and that is the transmission on this car. I don't know if the transmission on all Mustangs are bad or if this one just had issues being a rental car, but if you tried to put this car into manual mode and shift, it was like trying to rodeo a bull. It was the worst experience. The automatic mode was honestly fine most of the time. Like, it didn't make you sick. It performed well, but there were a few occasions where it was like, okay, this is questionable. But overall, you could live with it for a week. It's not gonna like make you car sick. My wife did complain a few times, but just something else to be aware of. Last topic I wanted to talk about was the exterior condition of this car, and as you would expect with a rental, it had a lot of scrapes, dings, rock chips, stains, etc., especially on the back of the car from pulling their luggage in and out. And I gotta get on my high horse here for a second. I just don't get why people think it's okay to just absolutely destroy something if it's not theirs. Like, this is some serious damage back here on the trunk, and you are liable to pay for any damage caused to the rental car. So if anything, I treat rental cars better than I treat my own car, but apparently others don't have that same mindset or care to have to pay for the damages, but I digress. Let's move on. So on the topic of the exterior, I also wanted to mention this paint color was absolutely obnoxious, but it came in clutch when trying to find your car in a parking lot. So if you do rent one of these cars, try to ask for one in yellow. But all jokes aside, guys, I really did like this yellow color. We had a ton of people staring at us everywhere we went. Probably not for good reasons if I had to guess, but yeah. All right, guys, to wrap up this video, if you're considering renting a Mustang convertible, I would say go for it. It was a ton of fun to drive. Something we always try to do on our vacations if we require a rental car is rent something new and unique and fun that we've never done before. I'd never driven a Mustang before, and I had never driven a convertible. So that's why I wanted to go for this car. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I recommend you try it out yourself. And who knows, you might, rent this car and drive it and be like, man, I love these Mustangs and I want to get one of these for myself. So renting cars is a great way to kind of determine, if that's something you want to buy. First rental car I ever got was a Tesla Model 3, brand new. It had like 2,000 miles on it. I wanted to buy a Tesla after driving that car for a week. And after driving this Mustang, I am now extremely curious to go and drive the V8 version of the Mustang. The four cylinder, while it was fun, I think to consider something to be a proper muscle car, it's got to have a V8 at least. I mean, come on, you can't put a four cylinder and something and call it a muscle car. That's just me. You might disagree. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm just shooting the crap right now, but yeah, I am extremely curious to go and test drive a GT V8 Mustang, because if I had a lot of fun driving this car and how it sounded and just like the way it got your juices flowing in all the right places, can only imagine how the V8 Mustang would be. So, all right, guys, with that, I'm going to leave you. And as always, I will see you next time, and stay glousy.